Don't forget to check out my monthly podcast where I talk about things related to my channel. I'm on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, and Google as well. All right, hey, welcome back. So today we're going to talk about what's inside my camera bag for 2020. But before we get into that, I want to acknowledge all of my current subscribers right now. And last time I checked, I was at 21. Thanks a lot to you guys. I appreciate your support. It means the world to me. And if you're new here, guess what? I'm new here too. So I would appreciate it if you found any value or if you enjoy this content to go ahead and click that like button, hit the notification so you'll be notified on future videos, like and subscribe, all that jazz. So anyway, without further ado, let's get back into the video.
What's in my camera bag in 2020?
As I was filming this video, I realized I have a ton of stuff in my bag. So I probably won't go over every single item that I have, but I will list links for every single item in the descriptions below, so check those out. All right, so let's talk about what's in my bag for 2020. And for starters, it's gonna be the Peak Design Everyday Backpack 30 liter. Now I went with the 30 over the 20 because I just wanted to fit more stuff in. But all around, I'd say the quality of this thing has definitely held up quite a bit, and I've just been really brutal on it, tossing it around, kind of throwing it in different scenarios, different types of weather conditions, hot, cold. It's handled all the environments fairly well. I live in Seattle, or super rainy, and this thing has held up like a beast, so definitely worth the money. So perhaps the most important item in my camera bag would be my EOS R, which I'm currently filming with right now. After parting ways with my 1DX Mark II, I wanted to stay in the Canon ecosystem. I didn't have a whole lot of EF glass, but I definitely wanted to upgrade to some of the RF lenses. So I have the RF 15 to 35, which I'll talk about more later. Next, we're going to talk about is the camera strap from Peak Design. So this is basically like any other camera strap, but the only catch with this is, get it, catch. It's got these little Peak Design clips that go nicely into your camera there. You can kind of see how that works out. You just clip it in there. It's really easy to clip and put on and take off. So that's the thing I like about this strap the most. So the next on my list here, I'm going to talk about the 15 to 35 2.8 RF lens. Now this is my first RF lens, and I gotta say I'm really impressed by how it's performing. It's super fast. The 15 to 35 is definitely great for those really wide establishing shots. Also, you can kind of get more traditional portrait shots too with a 35mm. Definitely digging this lens. The next thing on my list would be AirPods. Definitely a must to bring with you anytime you go anywhere. Just pop them in, pop them out. Sometimes I forget they're even in my ears. Next thing I want to talk about is the Manfrotto tripod. So this tripod's pretty handy for me. If I'm just out in a vlog setup, I'm just kind of running and gunning. I can set my EOS R on it, or I can set my Sony RX100 Mark VII on it, and it works out to be like the perfect vlogging angle for me. Really nice, quick and compact. Definitely loving this tripod here. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Sony RX100 Mark VII. Now this thing, I have it in the cage right now. This thing is coming very handy for me. It's like the ultimate pocket point and shoot camera. They say the best camera you have is the one you have on you. And this definitely is something that's on me at all times, whether it's in a fanny pack, my pocket, a backpack, I can just bring it out. And what's great about it is that you can just vlog, film, take pictures, whatever, and you're not really drawing too much attention on yourself, versus with the Canon, a big giant lens on it, you're a little more, you grab more of people's attentions in that case, whether you're in a restaurant or any other setting. You're more noticeable with the EOS R and a giant lens and a giant mic, and versus with the point and shoot camera, you can just kind of point, go about your business, take some photos, in and out real quick. People don't think anything of it. So that's why I love the Sony RX100 Mark VII. The biggest drawback I could say with the Sony would be battery life. It's really much next to nothing. So that's why you got to have plenty of these MP BX1 batteries on you. I have at least 4. In addition to having at least 4 batteries, I also have these battery charger, the travel charger that comes along with it. Now this charger powers with USB micro. I just kind of have a little portable battery pack that I keep on me and have maybe just an extra set of 3 or 4 batteries on hand, and with this charger, that way I never run out of fresh batteries. The next thing I'm going to talk about is this cheapo selfie stick that I got from Amazon. What's cool about this is that it's telescopic, so I can set it on the ground or raise it up and get that unique level that I want. Sometimes I might want a low shot, but other times I want to actually raise the camera up off the ground a little bit, and it's the perfect setup for my Sony RX100 because it's so small and it can support the weight just fine. Next thing on my list is the DJI Osmo Pocket. Now this has come in handy in so many different scenarios, whether it's trying to film some type of behind the scenes segment where I've got the Osmo Pocket just kind of stashed away in a corner somewhere, filming me as I film something for my videos or for my clients. It's a very discreet piece of tech that cranks out very good image quality. I can use it to capture time lapses. I can use it to do hyperlapse. It's just very convenient, very versatile little piece of kit. So the Freewell wide-angle lens is perhaps one of the best accessories for the Osmo Pocket. It really does increase your field of view, and it does so without incorporating all that bulbousy warp area towards the end. It really just kind of gives you a clean, wider image. Next on my list is the Samsung T5 SSD. It's definitely helpful if I'm out in the field and I want to pair this with something like the RAV Power File Hub. This is great because I can just take my SD cards from my camera, pop it in this guy here, connect it to the T5, and with a touch of a button, I can go ahead and back up what's on my SD onto this external drive. Pretty convenient, especially if I don't want to take my laptop out with me. This is definitely helpful for those situations. Carmex is definitely something that's been a lifesaver for me. You can't go out there with chapped, blistered lips, especially if you're dealing with clients. You know, it gets cold out there, it gets hot. Definitely an essential for sure, or at least for me. SD cards, I've got a ton of SD cards, micro SD cards, and I have them all in this little case. Next on the list is this Lacy backup drive that I use here. Now this is a pretty cool drive in the fact that it's really just kind of rugged. It's got this nice casing here that protects the drive. It is a standard hard disk drive, so there are moving parts here like disks and platters and whatnot. But again, I primarily use this for just a backup, and I'm not really relying on this for so much for performance as I am for just like a more long-term storage point for my data. Coming up next is the Rode Wireless Go, which is I'm currently using right now. I've got this attached to my shirt. Now I can't tell you how awesome this setup is. And it also works nice as a shotgun mic. So sometimes you'll see folks, they Velcro the receiver onto the transmitter and they put the little dead cat attachment on, and it works actually pretty good. For me, you know, if I want to go the distance or step away from the camera a bit, this is kind of like the ultimate freedom for me to kind of still have decent audio quality and be able to move around. While we're talking about Rode, I also want to say that you could pair the Rode Wireless Go with something like this, which is the Rode Lavalier Go. Now this is excellent if you want to either use it directly with this setup here. You can plug it into the receiver and get even better audio with this. And it's great for like interviews or documentaries, talking head segments, you name it, right? And then they've also got these adapters here that you can use, 3.5mm to lightning adapter that you can plug straight into your phone, or they have USB-C if you're working with an iPad or a newer iPhone. It's perfect in those situations where you're just kind of running and gunning and you want really quality, crispy audio. Definitely recommend this lavalier mic. So the other thing that's come in very handy to me is this Manfrotto Twist-A-Clip for your cell phone. It's basically like a cell phone holder that fits on a tripod with the addition of a shoe mount on top. So you could mount things like a light or an external microphone. It just gives you the extra option of bolting on an additional accessory to kind of kit out essentially. So if you take that product, the Twist-A-Grip cell phone holder, with a Manfrotto tripod and maybe just an external mic, you've got yourself a pretty formidable video taking machine just on your phone. This is pretty incredible. I also want to talk about this 3.5 Saramonic mic. This thing puts out some pretty decent audio, and with the dead cat on it, you're not going to get any wind noise at all with this thing, so which is really nice. I've got this hooked up to a USB-C to 3.5mm adapter. Again, you can plug this into your phone, your iPhone, yeah, and then directly into your camera, and it just adds that extra step of quality to your audio. Definitely worth it. It's only like 20 bucks, so definitely worth it. Now, on to my secret weapon, the JBL Flip 4. I can't tell you how many photo shoots I've been on where it's just been awkward silence. It's just, you know, the energy's kind of off, but as soon as you get some music going, boom, portable speaker to the rescue. Awesome, invaluable tool. Just kind of keeps the workflow going and keeps your creative process flowing between you, whether you're working with a talent, a model, whatever. Just sets the mood. Definitely worth getting this. And also what's great about the 4 is that it still has the 3.5mm jack, so that's awesome. Whereas with the 5, I think they did away with that. And what's also cool about this too is you can actually pair it with other units. So if I had 2 of these, I can play my sound in full stereo. And if I had, 3 and 4, I can play them all at the same time, which is pretty awesome. So I'm definitely thinking about getting another one of these and adding it to my kit. So next on my list is the InCharge 3-in-1 cable. This is a super short USB-A to USB-C cable initially. Now when you fold this adapter piece out, you also get a lightning connector and a USB micro. So this is definitely, as it says, 3-in-1 connector here, and I can't tell you how invaluable this has been for me, especially if I'm trying to do setups like, if I'm trying to take this USB drive here, plug it with the USB-C, and take the file hub, something like this, plug it into USB-A, boom, right there. No long, messy cables, it's just short and straight to the point, works in a pinch, awesome product, definitely worth it in my opinion. I've got a couple of them. So I'm a photographer and a videographer, but I'm also a guy who likes a lot of EDC stuff, so everyday carry. So I'm big on like very minimal, very essential gear. So that's why I like this pocket knife right here. It's definitely a really cool form factor, and the best thing about it is that I can actually flip it out one-handed. That's pretty cool. So it's useful for like unboxing. You just never know when you need to have a blade on you, essentially, whether you're out in the field, you know, you need to cut some cord or something like that, or whatever. The fact that you have this one-handed operation here is just so nice and easy, and it's just very light. I usually just carry it on my strap on my backpack, like right here, so I can just easily kind of pull it out if I need to. Definitely recommend this blade here, and it's by CRKT. Next, I want to talk about the Moment mobile lenses here. So when I'm filming from my phone, I definitely use these Moment lenses quite a bit. My favorite lens right now at the moment happens to be the anamorphic lens, because I love that angle that it gives you with those black cinematic bars. Next on my list is the Hero clip here. I use this when I want to attach my bag to a fence or something like that. I don't want to set my bag on the ground. This clip is pretty nice because it's kind of got like a dual carabiner setup where you've got two carabiners in one, so to speak, and it's really nice. It's pretty sturdy and doesn't feel like it's going to break anytime soon, but I definitely wouldn't go like mountain climbing on this, but for holding your backpack and keeping it off the wet ground, something like that, this thing works perfect for that. Next on my list is this reusable Stoho coffee cup. I'm always out and about and I want to help reduce my impact to the world. I can go to any coffee shop and get topped off on coffee and reuse the same cup. And the best part about this is it's actually collapsible, so it fits right back in my bag, nice and tidy. Love it. And that's it, folks. That's everything in my camera bag for 2020. And if you made it this far in the video, I want to say thank you so much. I know it's not easy, and if you're interested in any of the gear I talked about, including some of the gear I didn't have time to get to, I've left affiliate links down below. Even if you didn't buy anything on those lists and you just chose to buy something you needed instead, using one of my links, that would still help out my channel. So it would be greatly appreciated if you just wanted to go shopping on Amazon using one of my links. That would be freaking awesome. Hopefully you learned some things and you found some useful items that you could incorporate into your own setup, your own kit. Don't forget to click that flashing icon to subscribe to my channel. That said, this is Forrest Lionheart, and I'll see you guys on the next one.